Dre coming to a Tubi screen near you.
Why is it gotta be Tubi?
No pukesters helping me to the left, and no pukesters helping me to the right. Didn't need them then, don't need them now.
You are the ex-champion, Hogan.
Now this is the way, Tony and David, that you do the figure 4 leg lock.
You can already tell this is going to be a great episode.
I've been watching that movie, one of my favorite movies ever, Four Brothers, 2005. Tyrese, 3 Stacks, Mark Wahlberg, and then the guy that we don't know, Terrence Howard was in there as well.
Yeah,
I've been working on my acting chops. Can I give it a shot? Can I show you what I'm working on?
Yeah, let's hear it.
One of my favorite lines from this movie. You ready? They just found out their mom was murdered. They go back to the convenience store to watch the tape to find out what happened.
Okay.
Mark Wahlberg leaves the store. This is what he says. You ready?
Yep.
That was no gang shooting. That was an execution. They set mom up. They set her up. Come on. What you think?
End scene.
End scene.
Am
I gonna get any roles from this?
Maybe something on Tubi. No disrespect to the people that have films on Tubi, but there's some stuff on Tubi that's pretty bad. And I don't want to say your acting is bad, but
not Oscar worthy.
Nah. You need to get some WD-40 on that chair, by the way.
You hear that? Yeah. Dude, this chair is horrible. I lost the back part of it, and what you can kind of, I don't know if you can kind of see right there. I lost the little back portion of it. It just came off, and I mean, this is what you get when you go to Staples. You know what I mean?
Wow, Staples. Are they still around?
Yeah, Staples is around, man.
Oh. So this is a new chair.
I mean, newer.
Wow. All right.
$300 later, I got the squeaks. WD-40 is my friend. So.
Yeah.
It's DreRawka. I'm coming at you live from Cousin Tyrone's basement.
Will Wonder here in King Gunther's guest room again. After just a good but very frustrating showing on Monday Night Raw, which we'll get to.
Yeah, man, that was very interesting. I'm coming off of a birthday high. I went and celebrated my son Tavian his 11th birthday.
Happy birthday, little jabroni! Happy birthday, little jabroni!
Friend of the show, baby Rocka Tavian. He just turned 11 years old, and it's funny because I was talking about this on the radio show. I was like, "Damn, now like, hey, it's happy birthday, and now it's go to school." Yeah,
enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy nothing. No, we had a good time at Dave and Buster's. I am I'm holding the grand champion for all the racing games. I'm talking about motorcycle racing. I'm talking Mario Kart. I'm talking Cruising USA.
Champion. Wow, Cruising USA. Man, I haven't. Well, that's a lie. I was going to say I haven't seen that in a long time, but I took my son to Nickelcade a few weeks back, which it's not a nickel anymore, FYI. Nope. But it's still cheaper than anywhere else. And there was Cruising USA there, the original. It's like, damn, this brings back memories.
Double pedal for the wheelie.
Mm-hmm.
Double pedal shift.
Yep. That's awesome, man. Happy birthday to little man, little big man, little baby Rocka, little preteen almost Rocka.
Yeah, he's happy about hairs on his nuts and underneath his arms.
All of a sudden, he's gonna be in the bathroom for a half hour. Shower's going. You're gonna be like, "Hey, I know what you're doing in there. Get out, you sick child."
You're not far off. You're not far off in that sense, and with your own child. So,
oh man, I still have some time. Thank God.
Yeah. What'd you get into this weekend?
What did I?
Can I predict what Wonder did? What happened over the weekend?
Go ahead.
Was there a birthday party involved?
Yes, there was. Yes, there was. Shout out to my friend Gabby of Akomi Clothing. His little man turned 4, so we were there for his birthday party. Damn, what else did we do? Oh, Dre, we recorded.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah. This is the thing, man. Like, I was sitting here prepping my notes for this, and I was like, let's see, SmackDown. And I was like, SmackDown feels like 3 weeks ago. I don't know what it is about these weekends, but from Friday to Monday, it's like, goodness gracious.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we recorded. You recorded. I mean, you were busy this weekend.
Yeah, man, it was the first weekend back since Braun Breaker broke me. Yeah, man, had to get to work. So if you have not watched the Unrestricted podcast, I had Manny Lemons on there. Manny Lemons is a guy that owns Devotion Championship Wrestling here in Utah, Pro Wrestling. He's the biggest wrestling platform in Utah, and he's done a lot of shows. He's done TNA, he's done Impact, he's done WWE. He hasn't wrestled on WWE yet, but he has been an extra. You see him on TV. Yeah, man, you see him all over the place, and he has a match coming up on GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, that's coming to Salt Lake City. By the time this comes out, I believe it's in 2 weeks. I believe it's the 7th.
Nice.
So yeah, man, a lot of things happening with him, and then we obviously had our talk with our good brother Bangarang. That was fun. Bangarang wasn't late this time, but you were.
Listen, I'm always early, and I stepped into the studio we were supposed to start at 11. I got there at 11:04. Okay. I'm not like Bang can say what he wants to say. He was on time. But when Bang is late, which is what, like 88% of the time, he is like a half hour late. Okay.
He really is.
Yeah.
He really is.
Announced the return of the Will Wonder show this weekend. August 29th. August 29th. It's coming back. More details about that. But yeah, that was that. Birthdays. That was my weekend, man.
Hey, it's a good week. It's a good weekend. Do we want to just? I know we'll jump around. We always jump around.
Yeah.
But you told me that you wanted to touch on something before we jump into Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, I just want to know, because there's so many different storylines going on. We have, the Alpha Academy, and then, Real Americans, whatever they're calling themselves. We've got the Judgment Day storyline going on with Rhea and Damian Priest. We have the Cody KO. We've got Bloodline, Roman returning. So many storylines going on now. Bronson Reed. What are you most invested in at this point?
At this point right now, time of day is, I'm not going to say that, but hey, it is a good time. It is a good day. But the storyline that, and as you mentioned, there's so many that you could pick from. But for right now, I have to go with Mommy Liv, Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Finn Balor. Like, what's going to happen? And the reason why I think this is so enticing is because, to be honest with you, Wonder, I forgot about titles. Titles aren't even in the mix with this storyline. Obviously, Liv and Mommy, there's a title there, right? But for the most part, like, I forgot there was a belt. You know what I mean? And I feel like once it gets to a point where you're no longer chasing the belt, you're chasing the story, you're having people invested in the actual story. What trumps that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No pun intended. But for me, it has to be Mommy, Liv Morgan, Judgment Day, that whole debacle.
Got it. I love that. I was thinking about mine, and the obvious easy one would say like Bloodline Roman. I'm a little worried with the Jacob thing right now, and we'll talk about that. But this kind of came out of nowhere for me as I was watching SmackDown and after SmackDown ended. But to me, it's for the first time in a minute, I'm kind of invested in Cody. We get Cody KO. Follow me. We get Cody KO, right? Which was like, initially I was like, what? Why is this happening? We get that, like, they're friends. They're going to have a little match. I loved KO in the back saying when they were saying they were going to try to get a match for Roman Cody. And he's like, no. Roman hasn't been here. I've been here. I'll take the match. He kind of, but what has me excited about this is what it's going to be leading to, because you have to get Cody out of the Bloodline picture, right? Which is kind of hard to do, but how do you do that? We all anticipated Cody, Randy Orton, right? Because Randy kept giving that look to the belt. Randy's preoccupied with Gunther right now.
Yeah.
But I think after my King Gunther, shout out to him for letting me stay in the guest room, beats Randy at Bash in Berlin, we are going to get some form of a Cody, KO, Randy feud, possibly. For sure, we're going to get to Cody Randy. And there is no funner, in my opinion, no funner heel than a Randy Orton heel. He is awful. You got an airplane flying over you or something, or is that me? What is that noise?
Oh, it's a train.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about back there, all right?
Now you're coming in. You sound kind of weird. Sound kind of off. But anyways, I love heel Randy. We saw what he did to Edge, what he's done in the past when he was feuding with all kinds of people. And a heel Randy to really give me something that I care about with Cody outside of the bloodline, I think is very special and special for the belt. And I'm excited for that. So I'm invested. Listen, I already know how this shit's going to end in Bash at Berlin. We get some handshakes at the end. Hey, brother, good match, brother. Yeah, love you. I hear voices in my head. They talk to me. They understand. And then we're going to get there. And I'm telling you, heel Randy, he's over. He's maybe as over as a babyface as he's been in a long time. But heel Randy is different. Dastardly Viper coming through, just forget about it. And so this is why I'm most invested in that storyline, because I want to see how it plays out and hope that it has that type of next chapter.
I think you're right. And the reason why I think that all ties in is because of what Gunther said. I think you're predictable. And then what? Boom! RKO out of nowhere. You see that slithering Viper, that snake strike, and he does it so nicely. But I mean, I think everything makes sense, but at the same time, do we see KO actually have a taste of that belt, have taste of almost beating Cody? Follow me, Wonder. Follow me.
Okay, all right.
KO gets a taste of almost beating Cody Rhodes. He has a taste of getting that title back that he held. Because we haven't seen KO go after this title in a very long time. Mm-hmm. He hasn't had no interest in it. And now, if he gets that taste, if he gets that little drop of that sweet nectar, and he says, yo, actually, I could beat this guy.
Yeah.
Let me go for this. I'm going to turn heel. I don't care what people say no more. I'm going after my own thing. What if he does? What if he says, hey, I'm the guy now?
It could be.
There is no handshakes.
No, I see that this first. I think there's a handshake, at least at the beginning. There's something. There's like this the love, like we've been through hell and back together, But ultimately, I think this leads to Randy getting in the picture and Randy turning heel because he has to. We need a heel Randy.
Randy has kind of just been lingering since he's returned. And this again goes back to the great writing of the WWE, where they've kept us interested. They even did a callback to Gunther. Like, all this stuff is going to end up being a callback to something greater. The looks at the belt, these things. It's all going to be masterfully executed, and I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. Randy, you've been eyeing this belt. What do you want to talk about? That's that. By the way, he needs something different, man. That shit's
no, it's great. What are you talking about? Now he has the podcast. What do you want to talk about?
Exactly. Branding.
Rhea is so captivating. Yeah. She cuts one of the best promos last night. One of the best promos. I had a lot of fun last night watching that whole thing go down.
I love the promo. So yesterday I'm on like you get emails from WWE store, right? And this was yesterday. Let me pull up the Rhea shirt because I was like, what? Hold on. Everyone just entertain yourselves while
Is it awful? I hope it's not awful.
Because I mean, it's not awful, but when I saw it, I said, what the hell is that? Well, they don't even look like ours. They look like, I don't even know what the fuck. Sorry, excuse me. Rhea Bloody Ripley on the front. Looks like B4B on the back. But I said Rhea Bloody Ripley. I was like, come on, we don't need that. We don't need Seth freaking Rollins, Rhea Bloody, And then she says it in her promo, and I'm like, God, this is going to be a thing for a while. Rhea Bloody Ripley. Just let her be mommy. No, let her still be mommy. Goddamn it! I know her and Dom are over. Let her be mommy. I don't need Rhea Bloody Ripley.
Well, we're not gonna get Bloody Ripley chance. Like that's not happening.
Well, exactly. That's trying to be forced on us. I don't want to call her that.
Bloody Ripley.
Yeah, I mean maybe like in her hometown, they do that, but.
She went through tattoo removal. She got Dom's name removed from her face, the R+D, right? But what is it now? Was it 2 T's? What was that on her face?
I don't know.
Or was it crosses?
I don't know.
I was trying to figure that out last night. Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, last night I had fun watching it. Mommy comes out. She cuts a dope promo. Liv and Dom interrupt her, and Dom let us know, like, yo, this is the reason why I don't want to be with you. You don't treat me like a man. Like this one over here does. You know what I mean? And then Rhea was like, with the what's it? Slight innuendos?
Innuendo.
Yeah, you went to school. So
Got
innuendos about Dom, right? And some that were pushing the border, but really fun. And then all of a sudden, Damian Priest is right behind Dom.
Yeah. So this is just going to be a squash, right? Like in Berlin. Like this sets up for the intergender, and we'll get to that later, tag team match at Bash at Berlin. They're just going to squash them, I would imagine. Like, unless we get Judgment Day's help, right?
I think Dom is going to need Judgment Day's help, and that has been proven. They every promo cut with the Judgment Day with Finn talking. It's the Judgment Day together. It's not one person just talking. So Judgment Day's going to show up.
Yeah.
Now, is this where Damian Priest gets his hands on Finn? Is this going to lead up to Bad Blood? I don't know, but I do see Rhea. Man, she almost hit the riptide on Dom, and oh my gosh, I don't know if it was just Dom selling, but it seemed like she got the riptide up easier on Dom than she had some of the other chicks that she's fought. Like, holy smokes, Rhea been benching.
Yeah, very well could be. But hey, there's no hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I think that's the phrase. So she's probably just super pissed off, right? And gets super strength when she sees Eddie Guerrero 2.0.
Yeah. You talked about intergender matches, and this is something that, and then again, this is why I'm excited about this match and this storyline is because we are getting something that hasn't been done in a very long time. Yeah.
That's very true.
We're knocking down those lines, those divides between what was then and what is now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because they're starting to test things, like you said, like test a little bit with what they're saying. They're going to try this match. So when this thing goes to Netflix, it's going to, I don't think they're going to go full like Attitude Era, but they're definitely going to be able to test some lines that they haven't prior.
So, Wonder, I told you we went to Dave & Buster's. Right next to Dave & Buster's here at the Gateway, Salt Lake City, Utah, there's Tucanos, which is a Brazilian steakhouse thing. And so we went there, and the manager, he seen Tavian's shirt. He was wearing the WrestleMania shirt you got him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The manager started talking about, oh, man, I used to love it back in the 90s, how it was, and ruthless aggression and all these different eras and whatnot. And I was like, dude, if you liked it then, you're going to love it now.
Yeah.
And we started to talk a little bit, and he kind of brought up the same thing. They're testing the waters and how it was. And he was like, but do we want it to go back to that? And instantly I was like, hell no, we don't want to go back to that. There's a throwback match that we're going to talk to about Survivor Series 2000. And some of the things King Lawler was saying was like just cringy, right? Yeah. And so when we're talking about testing the waters, it's like, yeah, test the waters, see how it works, but let's not go backwards. Let's go forward with some testing of things, right? Like tease a little bit, but let's not go all the way ruthless aggression or those early eras of wrestling.
Yeah, I think they'll dip their toe in from time to time. stand on the line a little bit. But we're definitely not getting what happened in the Attitude Era at all. Like there's some of that stuff. I think back to it now, and I was, I was just Tavian's age watching that shit. And to think like some of the stuff that was going on or some of the stuff that was said was wild.
Yeah, and it just wouldn't be good right now, right?
Yeah,
like you couldn't do it, and it wouldn't sit right. And to be honest with you, you can argue that the female talent is better than the male talent right now. So it wouldn't even. I don't think the females, the women in the in the locker room would even go for it.
Oh yeah. Since the Divas Revolution, right, where when it actually changed from the Divas belt to the Women's Championship belt, like. They're never going backward after. Well, okay, you can never say never, but I don't see it in the near future.
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
So, Raw, I did want to talk about American Made. We got a new addition to American Made with one of my favorites that I feel like isn't used enough. Ivy Nile, who was training Maxine Dupree. They were friends. They were homies.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, American Made get their ass whooped, and then boom, who comes out? Ivy Nile taking out Maxine Dupree, and not what I wanted to see. Tozawa showed up though, man.
The match was good, and I think these guys can have these type of matches all the time. And then you talk about Maxine getting beat up. To me though, this storyline, this feud is this. Moves it along another week or two, but I'm starting to quickly lose interest in this, because this is some storylines I feel like can last forever, and it's because things get reinvented in certain ways. So the bloodline, that's been going on forever, right? But it's been changed, reinvented. Cody loses, Cody wins, Roman leaves. Like the Sammy element prior to all that. But this is like we all wanted the Otis payoff. That didn't happen, and I kind of sound like a broken record at this point about this stuff. But I'm just kind of Maxine getting beat up. That gives us another maybe 2 weeks where I semi give a shit about this. But it's getting to the point where I'm like, let's just do something else here. Like,
so what do you think it's leading to?
I don't know. Maybe we do get the payoff of Bad Blood, but then you still have the Wyatt Six element of it all. I don't know. I feel like this is the most, this is going to sound weird, but boring / convoluted storyline that we have.
Isn't that sad too? Because you could have done some really cool things with the story, and maybe it's still going to happen. But I feel like the ball was missed with Otis and Gable.
Yeah, totally. Because now, like with Gable and Otis, like he was treating them so bad, and there were so many hints of like, okay, Otis is finally going to stand up, We're going to get this match, and then it just didn't happen. So it's kind of a waste. But yeah, I'm wearing very thin of this storyline. So hopefully we get it wrapped up soon, and we can all move on, and the Creed brothers can be at some point primetime players.
They deserve it. I know. Yeah. I think they deserve it. What was your thoughts on Braun Breaker? And what is this, the third match between him and Sammy?
Yeah, I really liked it. I liked the 2 out of 3 falls. Just gives like a, this is the end of this. Sammy then, is going to roll with Jay. And it seems like, right? That's what it feels like. But I did like the match. I'm very curious to see where Braun goes next, who that next challenger is. I'm excited that, they've had a lot of matches on free TV, right? Not necessarily PLE. So I'm excited to see what happens with Braun. My thought was maybe they're building up because Braun Breaker's babyface 1,000%, even though they're trying to make him heel. Everyone's.
I was gonna say that the intro, the way he called out the WWE, breaking the fourth wall, right? Like, yeah, you've seen this done before, and this is what the person does.
Yeah.
He was like, but like, yo, Texas, Do I have any dogs out there? Like, this is the first time on the main card where Braun Breaker embraces the crowd. He embraces the whole dog chants and Pat McAfee. He comes from the sports world, right? So I loved seeing that. So I just wanted to interject that.
No, but I think maybe they're building up this monster heel in Bronson Reed to maybe try to take on Braun Breaker. Because, you know, initially when Bronson Reed did what he did to Seth, I thought, okay, there's a storyline. But then last night on Raw, we get it with Miz and R-Truth. Same thing. So I'm like, oh, so they're building him for something. It's not going to be Gunther, right? He's not going to take on Gunther after Bash in Berlin. He's not Punk or Drew. But we need somebody for Braun Breaker. And as much as they wanted Braun Breaker to be heel, he's a baby. But they're building up Bronson Reed as a heel. And nobody really likes him. And I think that you always need to put somebody in front of a champion that, I guess not always, because, you know, we've had Cody facing guys that we knew he was beating, which leads me to my second possible thought on who Braun would face. But like I said, Bronson Reed, I think he's that next guy for that IC title because he's inserting himself in that, right? One question I had, though, because I did bring up Cody and his feuds, maybe the IC title picture, maybe that's AJ Styles comes back.
Yeah, he's still on the roster. I forgot about Styles.
I think he was supposed to be back, and I don't know what happened, but he just didn't come back as of yet. So is it him? I think right now more heat would be Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Braun versus Braun.
Yeah. I mean, and even R-Truth, his little promo at the behind the scenes with Miz and Randy. I text you. I was like, this was the highlight for me on Raw.
Yeah.
Like that was so funny. He got the bronze mixed up.
Yeah. He's like, I got you an IC title fight. He's like, isn't he fighting Sammy? And he shows him the picture, and it's no. And he's like,
isn't that the guy that killed Seth?
Yeah. My bad, dog. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Battle of the Bronze is fun to think about, and we haven't seen it. Right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hey, I don't know. You know me. I haven't faithfully watched NXT since Nakamura was gone, and so maybe they were there. I don't know. Maybe they ran into each other at some point. I don't know, but yeah, no, I haven't seen it. So
I'm with it. I'm excited to see it. The fight of the night for me was that Breaker Sammy match.
Yeah,
just two stellar athletes. Braun Breaker is coming into his own. He is a star, and he's really fun to watch.
Yeah, yep, absolutely the match of the night. I'll tell you what wasn't the match of the night was Odyssey Jones against the jobber that he wrestled. But I know what they're doing there. Breakup with the New Day is, I mean, I think finally on the way. It's probably 3 or 4 years too late, but I think it's on the way. The only other note outside of, we talked briefly about Orton Gunther for Raw. We talked about Alpha Academy Creed brothers, Bronson Reed, Sammy, and two things I guess I have. Punk Drew still going at it. Punk looked old jumping that guardrail and hitting him. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. He just looked old. But, it's just me hating on Punk. The last note that I want to add about Raw is the Pure Fusion Collective. That's the name we're giving this faction of DeVille, Stark, and Baszler.
Yeah, they couldn't think about anything better, I guess. They have the look. They work good together. The name sucks.
You want to bury a team? Just get the Pure Fusion Collective. The hell is that?
Yeah, how does that even look on a T-shirt?
Way too big of a name.
Well, it's a collective, right? Pure Fusion Collective.
Oh, man.
That's too
I
much.
said, when did I miss that? Just like Damage Control being baby faces. When the hell did that happen? Like, anyway.
Yeah, it's just overnight. It was a weird turn.
Yeah,
I hate the name. I do like that. I don't like Damage Control being baby faces, but at the same time, it's like we can't
Someone
have
has
two
to be.
heels. Yeah.
Yeah, someone's got to be. Yeah, and they're great. They're all great in the ring. So don't get it twisted. Just the name sucks. So let's scrap that one and think of something better.
Shayna Baszler did have one botch, and it was a knee. She totally missed the knee.
Yeah,
and I was like, "What happened, Shayna? What's going on? You're better than this."
It happens. I mean, last week we talked about, or Aiden brought up the Tongaloa.
Oh my gosh.
Thing, and then I saw one on IG that I sent you. Wild. It's
all of his botches. It's like, holy smokes! So why is this guy here? Like, why didn't you send him to NXT?
Is it kind of like at this point? Do you think it's just like they're working us? Like they're all messing with us, and like he's just doing this to just look that way, like a big dumb dude? No way, right?
No way.
But it happens all the time. Every time he's on television, something happens.
Yeah, I don't think he's I don't know the excuse, to be honest with you. I don't think they're working us. I think this is him literally botching timing. Yeah. And I think it's experience too. Not to say he doesn't have experience, but he doesn't have WWE experience, right?
Yeah.
And it shows. It shows when you're in there with somebody like a vet like Cody Rhodes. You know, you're in there with vets that work, you know, like KO, Randy. Like these are guys that are on a different level. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a job. I don't think we're getting worked. Oh man, I was gonna say something about Tongaloa too, and I forgot what it was. You're all good. Do we want to talk? Do you have any notes for SmackDown other than Roman?
Oh, other than Roman. That I love the Santos Escobar
Andrade
match.
Woo! We had 3 whole segments with them. They had like 3 or 4 commercials.
That was a fire. I love both of those dudes in ring wise, character wise. I think Escobar is like, I mean, winning this match, but Escobar's a bit over Andrade as far as a character goes at this point.
Really?
From his mic skills, I think so.
Well, he never gets the mic.
Well, very true. Well, and there's maybe a reason for it.
Yeah, it's true.
But I loved that match. Outside of that, my other notes were, who do we get against the Bloodline for the tag titles? Is it DIY? Is it Street Profits? So
Street Profits. I don't think DIY gets a rematch yet, but Street Profits are showing up. And if you think power-wise, Dawkins and Montez Ford are the only ones that I feel are going to be powerful enough to take out Fatu.
Well, there's my other note. Where is he?
Yeah, man. Is he hurt?
Are they still trying to keep him and Roman apart? Because that's the money, right? Like, there's no stretch of the imagination that thinks that Solo is beating Roman at any time. But Fatu is like the real dog in the bloodline. So when he wasn't there, I was like, ugh. Because they like, it must be okay. They're either really, really working us, or it is a very serious injury, which is great. Like for me to not know, because here's the thing: they had CM Punk on TV for months and months and months, and he just talked, right? And I know Fatu is a totally different character, and a lot of his character is in punishment, beating up, opponents or running in. But I think you can still show him in some way. But we'll see. I mean, it was just a week after, so who knows? Maybe, I don't know. But I really hope he's not seriously injured. That was my other note. Like, where was he?
Jacob, he can work the mic too. He hasn't had the opportunity to work the mic. He can really talk. Jacob, he can be a standalone world heavyweight champion, universal champion. Like he has the opportunity to do that. I really hope he's not injured.
Yeah.
One thing that you told me early getting back into WWE is like, I told you, like Ricochet, I'm a Ricochet guy. Darby Allin, you were like, these guys though, they put their bodies, they don't last long like that.
Yeah.
If you got a guy that's a heavyweight like Jacob Fatu, what he's doing, does his body last long? I mean, it's lasted this long, up to this point, but
what is he like? He's like 32, 31, 32, something like that. Yeah.
Early in his 30s, which is super young in wrestling, but at the same time, like if you're jumping off the turnbuckle onto the outside announcing table every week, how much more can your body take?
Yeah. Yep. I hope he comes back. I did love we'll spend a minute on Roman. Didn't say a word, just came in, whooped ass, like really whooped ass. So that I'm excited for him to talk, for Roman to talk, is that with Paul Heyman coming back? I don't know what that looks like, because Roman can talk, but let's think about this, right? The past year, how many ever years that he's had the wise man there to really talk, he hit the acknowledge me. And maybe, you got these, let's compare it to hip hop. You got guys that can really go, right? They'll give you 18, 32, 60 bars. But then you got guys that'll come in and just nail a 4 to 8 bar rhyme. And this might seem like blasphemy from everyone who loves Roman Reigns. And I am one of those who loves him. But can he hold this storyline on his own from a talking perspective without Paul Heyman until Paul comes back?
Did you just call Roman Reigns ludicrous?
Oh man, no, hell no. Luda can go for days. I was trying to think of a really solid rapper, but I just couldn't. That's why
I'm thinking like Ludacris. Like Luda will any feature with Luda, he's in a body.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, he doesn't really. I mean, it's debatable, right? But I think Roman. It doesn't matter what Roman says. His aura.
That's the other thing too. Is maybe he doesn't even have to say anything. He just comes in. At some point, we're going to want to hear from him.
It's been 2 weeks and he hasn't said nothing. And we got new chants, OTC, which by the way, working in healthcare, I just instantly over the counter.
Yeah, exactly. That's what popped in my head too.
We got OTC chants. That's brand new. So boom, add that to acknowledge me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how long, and then when Rock comes back, this just elevates it even more. But man, I had talked about LA Knight being very over, Jay being very over. Like, there's no one in a very long time in my memory as over as Roman is right now. Like, the 4 months or whatever he was gone post Mania really just built him up even more. And the hate, and that's a nod, and we owe Solo applause for that too, because people really don't like Solo, like they hate him, and he's you can say what you want about him, but he has helped Roman in that aspect.
Yeah, man, they're doing a good job. Roman barely wrestled last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's wrestling.
That's the other thing too. Him coming back, how often is he going to wrestle? How often are we going to see him? He was on SmackDown. They said he's going to be on the next SmackDown this Friday. So do we get him weekly, for the rest of the year? Is that possible? I don't know.
Well, I think you have to it's a slow burn, right? You have to slowly integrate. We don't know who has his back. Another thing, going back to Jacob Fatu, I said this very early with Jacob coming on. Jacob is the enforcer for the tribal chief, right? Who knows what was said? Who knows if Jake? I mean, it didn't look like Jacob was confused, but who's to say Roman didn't actually have a chance to talk to Jacob, and Jacob is now like, "Oh no, I'm not a bad guy.
Yeah,
like, I'm with my tribal chief." You know what I mean? That's another thing too. Is on Friday he tried to get delay. He didn't get delay. It wasn't fully put on him. So that, I feel like that moment in that segment made it very clear, like, you're not putting this on. Yeah. What does that mean? Who's going to put it on him? What's going on? What's going on with Jacob? This is a long burn. We don't even know who has Roman's back. Man, this is the beautiful thing about this soap opera we call wrestling, pro wrestling.
I love it. I love it. I also love Solo. One last thing to put a button on it. The Instagram post that he put up, that picture of him and Roman hugging, and it said, "You lied to me." Love that.
Ooh, what did he lie about?
Well, we're gonna get there. I think it was basically, you are the next in line, right? When I'm gone, this is yours.
He did say that.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason why he didn't turn on Roman.
Yeah.
Why he didn't side with his brothers, right?
Yeah.
That was
still doesn't like, pardon him putting Paul through a table, and then also like calling Roman out, keep my name out your mouth. But he yeah.
Oh man. Oh, do you have a wrestler of the week?
Sure do. Let me get to that part of my notes. Wrestler of the week for me it's easy, right? We just talked about him. He has been back for a little over a week, hasn't spoken a word, just came through and wrecked shop, and everyone's excited to see what happens next. And that would be obviously the OTC, the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
I agree.
Is that how it goes?
Oh man, you just froze, and now you just. Oh, there you go. Yo, how many of those did we get on Friday? Was it 3 or 2? It felt like he went ooh ah.
I mean, the crowd made it feel like 100, so I don't know.
I was telling Manny that on Friday, and we were watching SmackDown, and wifey, she just puts up with me and Tavian, right? With watching wrestling. Yeah. She was in the back of the room, in the back of the house, doing laundry. She hears us go crazy. She comes out, what's going on? And she sees Roman, and she watches the rest of SmackDown just because of that. That's how electrifying, that's how captivating Roman is. And like you said, without even saying a word, that's why he deserves to be Wrestler of the Week.
Yeah, no,
because he actually wrestled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what he did to Tongaloa with those steps. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
He went off.
I was like, don't botch anything here. Take the beating, bro. Don't try to do anything crazy.
Hey, Roman, take the other eye.
Imagine he's just.
Yeah, now he's just blind. Now you have to have R-Truth help him out backstage.
Yeah.
So I while I agree with you, I gotta go back to last night. That Braun Breaker Sammy match. One, I want to give it to Braun Breaker, and man, it sucks because you can give certain athletes it every week. But I feel like we got to actually see Braun work the mic, and he actually catered to the audience. And now we see him embracing this baby face, vigilante, I don't care kind of guy.
Yeah.
Although he does need some pyro. I don't like it when he breaks and it doesn't.
Oh man, yeah. I noticed that too. I'm like, what? It's coming though.
Yeah, it has to. We got the smoke. We got more of the smoke. This new different type of entrance was dope. So yeah, just Roman Reigns with some love to Braun Breaker.
You know who might? I mean, we're halfway, or we're on episode 13, 14. We're on now, and Braun Breaker's been named a lot. So for Wrestler of the Week. So once we get to the end of the year, is he most valuable wrestler? I mean, we're in August, right? A lot of time left, but right now he's leading in votes. Okay.
If he keeps on holding it tight, if he holds the Intercontinental Championship, it's gonna be hard.
I think he's going to.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's, unless injury, of course. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But
let's hope not. Let's hope not. Should we throw it back to our throwback match?
Yes, please do.
It was the turn of the millennium. Millennium.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
The year 2000 Survivor Series. I am Tavian's age at this point in my life. I am all in on WWE. I got the action figures. I got everything. Survivor Series 2000, season 14, episode 1. It was a not tornado tag match, an elimination tag match. Meaning you get pinned, you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
The first team was K-Quick, also known as R-Truth. Mm-hmm. By the way, our friend Lucas in Canada, I called him K-Quick. He's like, you mean R-Truth? I was like, no, K-Quick. And I was defending the K-Quick name. So we had K-Quick and the Road Dogg. At the time, they were tag team partners. Chyna and Billy Gunn as a 4-person tag team against Eddie Guerrero and the Radicals.
Mm-hmm. traditional Survivor Series match, right? Get pinned, you're eliminated. Get pinned, you're eliminated. This is still Attitude Era. So, yes, you get China in there. You get Eddie hitting China with the IC title to pretty much knock her out and get her out of the match. The match was okay, right? Like, this wasn't like, there was no, like, if you were to show somebody a match from 2000, this probably isn't what you would pick, right? But to me, this is the epitome of wrestling superstars from this era. And what I mean by that, let me just read off what I have here, what I wrote down. 2 of these guys are still wrestling 24 years later. Billy Gunn and K-Quick, R-Truth.
Mm-hmm.
3 of these wrestlers are dead, and they all died relatively early in their lives. 2 of the other guys are bookers, right? One Road Dogg for WWE, Dean Malenko in AEW. And then you got Perry Saturn, who sued WWE for his TBI, his traumatic brain injury. Because, I mean, the amount of chair shots that dude took in the hardcore era or Attitude Era, but for the hardcore title, incredible. And then you got Terry Runnels, who was a smoke show. And she's just older now. You know, nothing wrong with Terry. She's an older woman.
The original puppy.
But to me, that's just like someone thinks about pro wrestling and you say, all right, 8 pro wrestlers. Let's put these 8 in a ring. What's going to happen to them 20 plus years from now? Where are they going to be? That's probably about where you would, you know, percentage wise. Okay, well, 2 of them still wrestling. 3 of them are dead for different reasons, obviously. 2 are still in the industry, but they're bookers, they're agents. Okay, yep, that makes sense. And then 1 of them is just suffering from his injuries. Wow. That was like immediately what came to my head when everyone came out and they were wrestling. I was like, this is just like my every era. Like, you think about the 80s, the 90s, like, you know, you had Slaughter, who was a wrestler, and then he became a booker and he was working with WWE. You had Hogan, who wrestled forever. Warrior, who was in and out, and then, you know, he died relatively early for him. And this is just the same thing. Just you can just do it every era. I think now it's a little bit different, where wrestlers, at least it seems, for the most part, aren't doing a lot of drugs, right? They don't seem that way. Like, there's guys that are, and obviously they're not in big companies anymore. But wrestling has changed. But I mean, pre-2010, like, you take a snapshot of any era, and that's about the percentages you get of what people are still doing. Match was fun. Match was kind of nostalgic. This is right. I swear to God, I probably stopped watching a few months before this, just barely a few months, because I did not remember. I mean, I remember from watching it when I got older, but like the K-Quick Road Dogg thing, I was out by the time K-Quick or R-Truth had joined. So, but fun match, nostalgic, sad to see. I mean, Eddie's so great, right? Chris Benoit, disgusting what happened there, was great in ring.
One of the best to do it, man.
Dean Malenko too, man of 1,000 moves. I think that's what they called him in WCW. Road Dogg was one of those wrestlers who got over because of his personality and his mic skills. Road Dogg wasn't, I mean, you know, the in-ring shit wasn't great, but
no. But thank God he had Billy Gunn to help him out.
Yeah. And China's so believable in wrestling these, you know, men. Like, so it was a nostalgic match. Obviously, like I said, I had stopped watching, but just so crazy to think about those 8 wrestlers, those 8 superstars, and where they're all at now or not at.
You know, one thing that stood out to me, and it was just something minor, but I was like, holy smokes, I forgot they used to do that. The cameraman on the outside of the ring, like right on the ring. I was like, oh, I forget. It's been so long since I've seen that. When I seen it, I was like, what the hell? How did they ever get in the way?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when they did, you really didn't pay attention.
Yeah. Well, that was a different time with the cameras too, like cameras for wrestling magazines. Now, you don't, that doesn't happen really.
Yeah, it's true. Unless you're putting it on a card, but then you can just take the screenshot from the video. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so easy now with digital, but you know, I mean, the 80s, the 90s, I think if I remember right, and I could be saying this wrong, but I swear that's how Paul Heyman got in the business, because he was a photographer and started taking pictures for some wrestling magazines. I could be messing that up with a different agent or person, but that's what I remember.
Well, definitely go check it out. I want somebody to bring back the bazooka, by the way. China's bazooka, one of the dopest pyro. Bring it back.
And also it wasn't in this one, at least from what I watched at the beginning, but the blimp in the arena. There's no blimps in any arenas anymore. They used to do it at jazz games, right? One other note I had on this was WWE New York, that club that was around for a year and a half, and then it probably failed or whatever. But that was I remember that.
Wasn't that right underneath TRL or like Times Square?
It was somewhere? It was in Times Square somewhere. Yeah.
I liked how they it was nostalgic this Friday too, or yesterday too, because the Miz match was sponsored by MTV. MTV 40-year Challenger Series or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, holy smokes, nostalgic. And obviously, Miz is from MTV era.
Yeah.
But if you want to go watch this match, again, it's Survivor Series. You can watch it on Peacock. Season 14, Episode 1, Match 2. Check it out. Let us know your thoughts. One thing I did to point out is Billy Gunn. I didn't realize they called him the One.
They were pushing him pretty hard at that time.
And his trunks in this match with the lips. Who else do we see the lips on their attire now? Bianca Belair. Was that a nod to Billy Gunn? I don't know.
Maybe.
Cool. Yeah. So go check that out. Let us know your thoughts on it. And if you have a throwback match you want us to check out, let us know. Anything else, Wonder? Should we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's put a bow on it. Let's send it home.
All right. Well, you can follow me at DreRawka, DreRawka on Instagram. Make sure you follow us on Instagram as well. Figure the number 4 podcast on Instagram. Working on a home. We're busy dads. We're busy fathers and whatnot. But that's definitely coming. Go check out my latest episode of Unrestricted Podcast with Manny Lemons, who is the owner, operator, and athlete for Devotion Championship Wrestling. He has an upcoming match for Game Changer Wrestling. If you don't know Game Changer Wrestling, Jacob Fatu came out of there. Zilla came out of there. A lot of different athletes have came from this promotion. And fun fact, here in Utah, Solo Sikoa held a DCW belt. So there you go.
You had said that you didn't, I don't know, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't remember the exact quote, but you didn't think Manny Lemons could deliver chops to you that would be effective. Didn't you say something along those lines?
Nope, you are wrong again. That was you. You said Manny Lemons. Who wants lemons? Like,
I didn't say that. I don't.
You did.
Yeah. No. It was you, and you said lemonade sucks.
No, you said country time is whack. Manny, you better chop him.
One side note, Manny Lemons, let's get some lemonade cans that we can just hand out to folks at your shows. Went to my local grocery store trying to buy some lemonade cans for my high school reunion. Long story, don't need to get into it here. They don't have them in cans at Smith's, Kroger. The hell's that about? They got the jugs, the 2-gallon joints. So anyways, Manny, maybe, just thinking, a little bit of promo right there.
Work on a cannery. Will Wonder, tell us where we can find you and all that jazz.
Yes, like I said, the Will Wonder Show is back August 29th. So Instagram, the Will Wonder Show, March 15th media on Instagram, and then as always on X at DJ Will Wonder.
Boom. Tap in. Be a part of the conversation. Follow us and all that good stuff. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.